Let's go.
Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Pull Me Out of This. Today, we are talking with one of our experts on SAM, Rebecca Casciano. Rebecca, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Abby.
Rebecca is a beauty and wellness coach on SAM, and she's been with us from the day we launched. And I always thought that Rebecca really offered something meaningful and unique to the women on SAM and the women of the world. Rebecca, tell us a little bit about your background. It's fascinating, and why you're here on SAM.
Yes, thanks, Abby. So I have been a makeup artist for 25 years. I've also been on a beauty and wellness journey for just as long. In my early 20s, I suffered with chronic cystic acne, which led me to a holistic approach and looking at a plant-based diet and holistic healing. And that really transformed my definition of beauty. So while I was working in the industry as a makeup artist, I was very much about learning about wellness and self-care and how inner and outer beauty were connected. And so later, I took all of that experience to become a health coach to really be able to talk to women about some of the deeper issues that impact how we see ourselves, which is really comes down to our mindset. And so many of us are carrying stories from childhood about beauty and ideas that we learned from, our well-meaning family and community and friends. And of course, now we have social media and so many other influences. But when we start to kind of unravel our stories, we can redefine them and rewrite them and create something more empowering to connect with when it comes to our beauty. So yes, we can use amazing makeup and have fun with beauty, but we can also accompany that with doing the inner work, which means exploring our mindset, self-care practices, things like journaling, meditation, morning rituals. Those really can make an impact in how we see ourselves and how we show up and move through the world every day.
I thank you for all of that background. And what I think is so beautiful about your experience is that you bring both sides of the equation to the conversation. So you have the internal and the external, which is not something that many experts have. You talked about our perception of ourselves and of how we look and our beauty, and I just want to set the scene, set the stage for our conversation here today. And it's about getting your glow back, right? It's a moment in midlife when you may or may not be out there looking for love. Maybe you've just moved past on from a previous relationship. February is our month of love here at SAM. I know that's very unique. But today we want to talk to Rebecca about what she brings to this work, particularly around dating, midlife, and beauty. So setting the stage here, you're in a routine, you're in a marriage, you're in a partnership or relationship for a long time. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, right? And perhaps there is a severing of that. And over that time, our perception of ourselves, our confidence, how we look, how we're physically changing changes drastically in that 10, 20, 30, 40-year span. And so coming into this new experience, kind of having to reset. And so Rebecca offers a product on SAM called Love Your Beauty. And this product is really about spending time with Rebecca when you are looking to get back out there and you might want to have a little bit of that internal and external confidence boost with rituals and new products and so on. But Rebecca comes from a place of experience. I've spoken long enough. Rebecca, tell us about your own experience finding love in later on in life.
Yes. Well, thanks for asking. It's, I love the month of love. I love love and talking about it and sharing about it. So this was a really fun thing for me to explore with you. and with our SAM community. I dated throughout my 20s and 30s, so about almost 20 years of dating in New York City. This was in the 90s, so Sex in the City was very much like a resonant cultural phenomenon that my friends and I, could relate to quite a bit, except we were creatives living in Brooklyn with, not so many luxury shoes and apartments and things like that. But it really gave me time to kind of learn myself in a deeper way, because this time in my life was also when I had my big beauty and wellness transformation and changed my life, got out of a toxic relationship, left a toxic retail job, and really did a big change in my life. So it gave me the opportunity to kind of connect with what was really important to me in finding a partner, and to really practice self-love as a single person, wanting love. I really use that as an opportunity to kind of go deep. So when I did meet my mate, I would be in a place of, just confidence and really connection with myself. So I met my partner in my late 30s on a site called OkCupid, which was one of the earliest sites for online dating. Um, yeah, and so it was, now I could say all worth it. But there are lots of ups and downs with dating, and I just encourage my sisters who are single to, to keep going, to, feel good about themselves. You mentioned how we changed so much over these years. So being out now would be different for me than it was even a decade ago, because I've changed, and as we all do. And so having that, point of connection to say that I feel good about how I look is so important, because that's how we're perceived. When we go out into the world, we're in these human, shapes and bodies. And so to feel good in them, it enables us to, to put the post up, to, get a profile photo, to reach out to the guy. I met my sweetheart because I reached out to him and I said hello. Some women wouldn't do that, and so it's like it all comes down to just having that kind of confidence and feeling good in your skin. Um, so I think that also allows you to, dress in a certain way that feels good to you. And what does that mean to you now? Again, it may have changed over the years, but it's so important to kind of take the opportunity to figure out what that is. And a big part of my work is also just focusing on embracing aging and all the things that come with that. I think the narrative around aging is total bullshit. So I do my best to kind of help other women and myself to kind of dismantle these ideas that we become less than in any way as we age, especially when it comes to beauty. And it's been cool to see these things kind of shifting in society and people being, open to exploring new ideas. But individually, especially women of a certain age, we come from a culture that insists that we look a certain way. And so I think that's hopefully our work together allows us to touch on that and kind of get to a different place with things so we could enjoy the rest of our lives feeling fabulous and like the goddesses we are.
Yeah, that's right. And I would love to have met the 20-year-old Rebecca living in Brooklyn.
We would have
And
had fun, Abby.
what that version was like. I think I was in New York just a little bit after you, but it would
Okay.
have been fun. Um, let's talk about that tension. Society is telling us we need to look a certain way. We have to have this tight skin, big lips, complexion of a 12-year-old. And we just don't want to do that or can't
Yeah.
do that. Right. And we don't really know. We're stuck in this place of which way do I go? And there's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just, we kind of throw up our hands. We don't know what to do. We don't know where to buy the makeup, if to look like a 20-year-old or to look like a 45-year-old or a 50-year-old. Like, we just don't know where to go. So tell us a little bit about this session and how you help us find our way. Please.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm here for, is for all the women who don't know where to go, and have just kind of abandoned the idea altogether, or they're doing the same thing for fear of changing. And I think the first place is, that self-reflection piece. So I always walk women through kind of, tell me about where you are now, tell me about the things that, are coming up for you, what's true about that, and, just kind of exploring through a little bit of like one-on-one coaching. Then we also look at the products they're using currently and if they're supporting their needs. Oftentimes, again, the products may be old or they may be not suitable for your particular skin, especially as we age. Our skin is changing rapidly. And, as a 50-year-old woman, I feel very drawn to work with this community because I'm just menopausal myself, and I know what the past 10 years have been like and all of the things that may be to come, right? So we kind of take a look at what's working now, seasonally what could change because our skin changes, all the time, and what types of products we might want to have on hand. You don't need to wear makeup, it's not a requirement, but it is something that you could do that's fun, easy, relatively inexpensive, and non-invasive. And so I like to say, learn how to use makeup, have a few things that you can go to when you're going on a date, when you're taking your profile photo, when you're moving through your life and you have a special occasion or just a time when you want to feel beautiful, sexy, playful, girly. It can really be anything. And that's what's so fun about makeup is you can use it for self-expression. You can use it for confidence, for a moment of self-love, to just be in the mirror with yourself. And so we look at everything from the inner to the outer, to the practices that you have in your life, like what your morning looks like, what your evening routine looks like. And we come up with a bit of a reset based on a 30-day increment. So you'll have something to look at each week that will guide you through making a small change in your daily routine. And so it's really customizable, and it's really just a suggestion and an outline of the steps that I've taken and that I work with my clients on, to kind of just switch things up a bit, to kind of reflect and to change, make some changes in your products, freshen up your beauty routine, create a space that you feel comfortable in, to show up and be in your mirror and, take those
That's
2 moments
huge.
for yourself. It's
That's
really
huge.
huge.
That's
Yeah,
huge.
exactly.
We like are so used to just hovering over, the drawer with people above us, and we're just, trying to
Yes.
find a spot. You're right. You're right. We need that space.
Yes, we
We need
do.
that
We
space.
do. And even if it's just a couple moments, it's our time. So I help women create those moments, even in busy lives with, children and jobs and caregiving and all the things. We still deserve those moments of self-care. And I feel strongly that our beauty rituals could be a big part of that. So that's what we work on together in our reset.
Yeah, and it's so valuable to have someone to push you to try something different, but
Right.
also be mindful of what you're comfortable with and your routines and your space. But sometimes we need that push, I gotta say, right? It's like we know something needs to change with how we look and how we feel. What can we do? Sephora is overwhelming.
And yet it's so crowded. Every time I go in
So
there, I'm like,
crowded.
can I
We
help
love
you?
Sephora. We're big Sephora fans here.
Yes.
Sephora, call us. We'd love to work with you. But it's overwhelming for a gal of my age. The lights.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all to say, Rebecca, the work you do is so important because it's not just about the product or the color. It's about confidence. And so if you find yourself in a moment where you want to get back out there and you want to refresh how you look and how you feel, Rebecca is just one click of a button away, and you can work with her with Love Your Beauty. Rebecca, thank you so much for chatting today.
Such a pleasure, Abby. Thank you for chatting with me, and I'm so excited about this offering.
We would have had fun in New York. There's still
Oh,
time.
yes,
There's still time. There's
we
still
still
time.
can. Different,
Thank
but
you.
fun.
Yes, different, different.
Earlier.
Yeah, earlier, much earlier.
Let's do
Thanks so
it.
much, Rebecca. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Abby.